I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Disney's live-action video, instead of honoring a timeless classic, Snow White is encountering an unprecedented backlash.
The official trailer of Disney's Snow White movie has been released, and it's being slammed as woke. Let's just take a look at the trailer.
The CEO, Bob Iger, is facing criticism due to the hundreds of thousands of dislikes and boycott calls from fans. What caused this magical tale to become the most contentious Disney story to date? With the release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, Walt Disney permanently altered the film industry. Being the first feature-length animated film ever made, it was more than just a film. It was a revolutionary accomplishment that reshaped the possibilities of animation by fusing innovative techniques with poignant storytelling. Snow White, a timeless fairy tale full of whimsy, danger, and a sense of magic that won over the hearts of both children and adults, was more than just entertainment for millions of people. This movie established the groundwork for Disney's future global empire, securing its status as a cultural icon that is still cherished more than 8 decades later. The news of a live-action remake evoked a wave of nostalgia and excitement due to its legendary status. Fans envisioned a contemporary reimagining that would offer new elements for a younger audience while maintaining the spirit of the original. The goal was to preserve the essence of the beloved classic while enhancing it with modern narrative techniques and cinematic innovations. Ultimately, Disney had achieved this balance with Cinderella and the Jungle Book remakes, both of which were praised for maintaining fidelity while providing a novel interpretation. However, Snow White's live action swiftly took a different turn, leaving many fans feeling deceived. The remake caused controversy as soon as production details and leaked photos surfaced. It felt as though the artistic decisions were separating the project from the original's magic. And it wasn't just about modernization. Many people thought that the choice to substitute CGI magical creatures for the iconic Seven Dwarfs was uninspired and lifeless. Critics claimed that this decision took away the uniqueness and charm that made the original character so adored. Meanwhile, remarks made by the movie's star, who dismissed the original story as outdated, only served to fan the flames. These changes felt more like a misguided departure than a respectful update to audiences who grew up loving Snow White as a quintessential Disney experience. There were discussions about whether Disney was losing touch with its legacy as a result of what was meant to honor a timeless masterpiece feeling disjointed. When the trailer for the live-action Snow White was released, it caused an epic backlash instead of the buzz Disney had hoped for. Online fans didn't take long to express their opinions, and they weren't pleasant. The trailer received over 400 dislikes on YouTube alone, making it one of the worst received ones in recent memory. As people expressed their dissatisfaction with the film's artistic decisions, hashtags like Boycott Snow White went viral on social media. Fans used humor and criticism to express their disappointment on social media sites like Instagram and Twitter, which were overrun with reaction videos and memes. The choice to substitute CGI magical creatures for the Seven Dwarfs was one of the remake's most contentious decisions. Disney replaced the original dwarf characters, who were essential to the charm and emotional depth of the 1937 movie, in an effort to update the plot and steer clear of cliches. Fans claimed that the core plot was lost and that these changes felt superfluous. In contrast to the distinct personalities of Dark Grumpy and the other members of the original group, the CGI replacements were characterized as soulless and uninspired. Longtime fans were offended by this artistic decision, which also made some wonder if Disney had lost its sense of how to respect its heritage. The perceived overemphasis on social media messaging was another significant source of contention. Although many viewers concur that diversity and inclusivity are crucial in storytelling, they believed that Disney's strategy in Snow White put messaging ahead of entertainment. The remake appeared more focused on presenting a modernized agenda than on highlighting the elements that provoke a little princess, and this myth is illustrated timeless and fairy tale, full of whimsical danger and redemption. Disney has always been a master at telling stories that appeal to audiences of all ages with their universal themes and emotional depth. So for fans, this felt like a change from that. At first, it seemed like daring and exciting decisions to cast Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the evil queen. Rachel Zegler became well known for her role in West Side Story, and her portrayal of Wonder Woman made her a household name. First, fans hoped that their celebrity status would revitalize a beloved tale, but the enthusiasm soon gave way to criticism, and the casting decisions became a major source of contention for the live-action film adaptation. Fans were enraged by Rachel Zegler's remarks regarding the original 1937 Snow White movie. She dismissed the classic's themes as unimportant to audiences in the modern era and called it outdated. Many people felt that these comments were an outright insult to a treasured aspect of Disney's past. Snow White was more than just a fairy tale, it was a groundbreaking animation moment that generations have treasured since childhood. Her remarks seemed contemptuous to fans, as though she denigrated the role she was playing. The fact that she alluded to a very different Snow White who wouldn't need saving or dream of love didn't help either. Although Zegler probably wanted to highlight the film's contemporary perspective, her tone didn't sit well with viewers who cherished the simplicity and magic of the original. Instead of reducing the backlash, Zegler's social media interactions made matters worse. Her answers frequently sounded defensive, at times even hostile. Fans believed she was out of touch with their issues, and her remarks appeared to further distance the audience from Disney's remake vision. The audience didn't really understand why fans were feeling this way and even left the stage after performing 15 minutes of listening, which could not have been reasonable. Many people felt she was not qualified to portray a character so closely associated with Disney's legacy, which led to calls for her to be recast. On the other hand, Gal Gadot was subjected to a different kind of scrutiny. At first, fans were drawn to her portrayal as the evil queen because of her glamorous and valiant persona, which made her an unusual choice for such a sinister and limiting role. However, concerns regarding her performance began to surface as test screenings and trailers were made public. Her portrayal was deemed excessively theatrical by critics, who noted that her exaggerated facial expressions verged on caricature. Fans wondered if her polished persona as Wonder Woman conflicted with the evil queen's sinister complexity. Some people thought that Gal Gadot's celebrity status was being used to cover up more serious problems with the film's artistic direction. A larger problem was brought to light by the controversy surrounding both actresses. Fans believed that there was a discrepancy between the studio's vision and what the audience expected from Disney's casting decisions. What could have served as a promotional tool instead became a public relations problem. The casting decisions did not create excitement, rather they fueled the flames and further alienated a fan base that was already doubtful. Casting also wasn't the solution for Amy Remington. As the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger left behind a legacy of outstanding accomplishment. He oversaw the purchase of major brands like Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm, and he led the company through some of its most successful years. Under his direction, Disney grew into a massive force in entertainment with an unrivaled collection of cherished properties. But the Snow White Cont has cast a shadow over Iger's otherwise uneventful career by posing a challenge unlike any he has faced before. Iger is in an unenviable position as a result of the backlash against Snow White. According to reports, he is extremely irritated with the film's creative direction, which has resulted in a PR catastrophe. From its first announcement to the trailer's release, the film has been criticized at every stage, with 5 test screenings failing and an unprecedented amount of online backlash. The film's unfavorable reviews are unlike anything Disney has experienced recently. Iger reportedly ordered last-minute changes to save the project, but these reactive actions haven't really helped to defuse the situation, according to insiders. This dispute has wider ramifications for Disney's future and Iger's leadership. Iger has a long history of promoting inclusivity and diversity in storytelling, a position that has garnered both acclaim and criticism. Although these initiatives have been in line with current cultural trends, they have also raised questions about whether Disney's emphasis on representation has come at the expense of its narrative. with declining box office receipts and a declining market capitalization suggesting a need for reorientation, the financial impact of this approach is becoming more difficult to overlook. The stakes are extremely high because of Tiger's planned retirement in 2026. If Snow White doesn't connect with viewers, it could damage his reputation and cast doubt on the company's future under his direction. Additionally, the business has rekindled debates among fans and shareholders regarding whether Disney is losing touch with its audience. As both critics and fans watch to see if Disney can recover, Iger's ability to lead the company through this crisis will be a defining moment in his career. For Iger, the Snow White Michelle is a reflection of the company's broader problems rather than just a single film. The movie's success or failure as he nears the end of his term could represent Disney's capacity to adjust to a shifting entertainment and cultural environment. Whether or not Tiger's leadership can weather the storm and rebuild trust in Disney's brand will be determined in the upcoming months. Because audiences today are more diverse than ever before, and because media representation is essential to helping everyone feel seen and appreciated, diversity, equity, and inclusion are important in today's storytelling. With many of its recent projects incorporating do-it-yourself concepts, Disney has been at the forefront of this movement. But the criticism of Snow White has made people wonder if the company is striking the correct balance. Disney's apparent preference for social media messaging over entertainment value has drawn criticism from fans. Many people thought that Snow White's changes came across as rushed and unrelated to the main plot of the original novel. One instance that sparked a lot of criticism was the substitution of CGI magical creatures for the Seven Dwarfs. Although this choice was probably made with good intentions, many people felt that the remake lacked the original movie's charm and emotional nuance. These adjustments felt superfluous and out of place to viewers who value the timeless appeal of Disney classics. However, it's important to remember that inclusivity and excellent storytelling don't have to conflict. Movies like Zootopia and Coco have demonstrated that significant social issues can be addressed while retaining the narrative appeal and emotional resonance that viewers adore. Snow White's issue. In terms of execution, fans thought the movie was more concerned with spreading a message than telling an engaging tale. Audiences felt disengaged because this method made the changes seem performative rather than genuine. The controversy surrounding Snow White draws attention to a broader cultural discussion about how to adapt classic tales for contemporary audiences. Some contend that adaptations ought to remain faithful to the original work, maintaining the elements that initially won people over. Others think that in order to guarantee wider representation and reflect modern values, updates are required. Finding the ideal balance is the difficulty. In addition to diversity, audiences are drawn to compelling and authentic stories. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, particularly if you have any subjects you think we should cover. We would love to create videos that you would like to watch.